which, what I'm going to do now is we'll start in right away. I'm going to start with President Joe Biden's speech that he gave last week, where he talked about COVID. I thought it was terrible. I thought it was probably the worst speech given by a president in modern American history. I think it was garbage. It was not something that you want to hear from a president of the United States during a time of crisis. And we are still in a time of crisis, whether, no matter how you feel about COVID and the response to it and things like that, we are in a time of crisis right now. There are states that are still locked down, still not allowing people to open their businesses, not allowed to go back to school, not allowed to go back to work. There are still people struggling. There's still a lot of crisis going on. There's other crises happening, by Biden's own fault. We can talk about what's going on at the border some other time, but this speech would just highlighted several things. It highlighted how incompetent he is. It highlighted how he's really just going with the flow of wherever the far left kind of takes him. And he is still using fear as a method of control for people, and that's what he wants. He wants to use that fear to control us still, even though that fear is largely, most people are kind of like, okay, the vaccine's here. All the people that we were worried about should have the vaccine by the end of the month. I think we're good. We're done. And he's still trying to keep that fear going. I think, for starters, the speech started off by bashing Trump, and he ended the speech by calling for unity. And I'm like, you can't have both, you dumbass. So I watched that speech thinking, I was like, well, he started this whole speech off bashing his predecessor who gave him the vaccine. Remember, the vaccine is created under Trump. Donald Trump made sure that Joe Biden could get the vaccine before Joe Biden became president. But he started off bashing Trump for how he handled the virus. He made sure that we had a vaccine in record time. Everybody was saying that we were going to have 2 million deaths. We're at 500,000, 100,000 of which have happened under Biden's watch. So Trump has 400,000 deaths in 10 months. Biden in 2 months has over 100,000. Biden had a vaccine the entire time. Trump didn't. Trump didn't have a vaccine for 8 months. So you can basically see, Trump is basically responsible for all the good things that are happening now as it relates to COVID. Biden, however, used this speech to try to take credit for anything that's good that's going on, which is garbage, because he's saying, oh, we're going to get to 100 million doses of the vaccine way ahead of schedule. Great. We were at 1 million doses per day the day you took office. So, yeah, if you had 100 million doses, in less than your first 100 days, that's a failure on your part. So, congratulations. You did exactly what Trump told you to do during the transition. Good job, dummy. So, I really feel like this speech was overall him trying to jump out in front of the parade and just pretend he's been leading it the whole time. The speech was terrible. Not only does he just keep promoting this fear and angst about COVID that really is completely unwarranted at this point. I think anybody who's still afraid of this virus, you need to be an unvaccinated person that is either over the age of 65, or you have some sort of some sort of medical issue that either prevents you from getting the vaccine or you're at a high risk. If you're not a high risk individual, then you should not be responding to the fear-mongering that's going on about this virus. But going back to Biden's speech, though, he basically is trying to take credit for everything Trump did, but he's still trying to, present this gloom and doom mentality to us. And that is not the president's job. The president is supposed to be the cheerleader for the country. He's supposed to be saying how great we are and how even during struggles, we're going to come out of this and things are going to be great. He didn't come across like that at all. He came across as, shit's fucked up and it's going to be fucked up for a while, and maybe things might get better, but they probably won't. So you need to still be afraid for right now. No, dude. I mean, that was all. I said I brought this up in my quick rant video. Check it out. You got to be fucking insane to think that everybody's going to be vaccinated by the end of May, which is a great goal for him to set. Biden put that in his speech. A great goal. We're going to try to get everybody scheduled for a vaccination, eligible for a vaccination by May 1st. And then by the end of May, we want every adult vaccinated. Great. All right, that's a great goal to have. The problem is that even at that point, he's still saying a month and a half later, you can't get together with basically anybody outside your household for 4th of July, for a 4th of July barbecue, or setting off fireworks and a party or something like that. Fuck that. You're out of your damn mind. As soon as I get this vaccine, I'm throwing my mask away, and that's it. I mean, I have one mask that says I'm only wearing this so I won't get fined. I'll probably keep that just in case there's some businesses who are trying to cover their ass and they just want to make sure, like, hey, we still have the mask mandate here. We get it, all that stuff. Just in case, I don't want to put businesses on the spot. They're just trying to make a living in this rough thing. They're trying to keep people employed. With all the Black Lives Matter and Antifa stuff going on, they're lucky their shit hasn't been blown up. So, I get it. I'll keep one mask, but it'll be that mask that says, I'm only wearing this so I don't get fined. But every other mask is gone. I'm not playing this game anymore. I'm done. And as soon as I'm vaccinated, it's over. That's the end of the story. I don't give a fuck anymore. So, once all that's done, that should be the end of the story. That should be the president's whole take on COVID. We have a vaccine. As soon as every adult is vaccinated, it's over. As soon as every adult is vaccinated, go back to normal. All mask mandates are done. You can fly freely. Everything's good to go. That should be the message that we're getting from our president of the United States. Hey, times are still tough. Maybe you don't try to keep yourself a little bit away from public spaces if you can. Try to still wash your hands, be vigilant, all that stuff. I get it if he wants to go that route. That should be the thing from our president of the United States. What he should be saying is, look, we're playing this extra cautious. I'm playing this extra cautious. We need to make sure everybody's vaccinated. Once all the adults are vaccinated, you're good to go. Go back to normal. By him saying that even once all the adults are vaccinated in this country, that you still can't go back to normal, that you still can't have a huge party at your house for 4th of July, to say that you still cannot get rid of the masks, to say that we still need to live in fear of this virus, which has a 99% survival rate. To say this over and over again, you're trying to make sure this virus never goes away. And we cannot have that anymore in this country. This virus needs to be over. But Joe Biden the speech was awful. It was not what you need from an American president. He is so far just been he's had a worst presidency. The first 2 months of his presidency. This has been the worst 2 months, I think, of any presidency. I mean, I really think since like the second Bush term. I mean, I think George W. Bush started off his second term with all this great, we're going to do this. We're going to privatize Social Security. We're going to do all these things. And he got fucking shut down by his own party. He got shut down by the war in Iraq was not going very well. I mean, he just got brutalized for his first, for like 2 months straight. I mean, but Joe Biden is putting him to shame. Joe Biden has had over 100,000 deaths from COVID. They're all him. He's had a vaccine his entire presidency. So all these deaths, they're on Biden's total. You can take them off the Trump board. Those are on Biden. And that's with a vaccine in 2 months. So Joe Biden just decided to chalk this all up to, I don't know what he's doing. His speech was awful. It was gloom and doom. It was fear-mongering. And it was very uninspiring. And if this is what you are, this is what you voted for instead of Trump. Trump said a lot of mean things on Twitter. Trump lied a lot. He was he liked to lie about things, but at least Trump didn't lie. Trump would lie about stuff that nobody cared about. The size of a crowd, the how big his hands were. Nobody gives a shit about that. When it came to something like COVID, Trump did not lie. So Joe Biden is lying to make sure that he can keep control of power. That's really what's going on here. And something that we need to be very cognitive of, something that we as Americans need to keep an eye on, is that this speech did one thing, and it highlighted the cognitive decline of Joe Biden. Joe Biden is really, we knew he wasn't doing well mentally for a long time. He's always been a dumbass, but we knew that something wasn't right upstairs for quite a while. And we saw it all the way through the campaign. And it's just been highlighted. It was highlighted in this speech. He started off blundering the first word of the speech. It was, right away, just the first major announcement, first major talking to the American people, and he blundered the first word and had to trip over himself. It's it is highlighting every time he goes out in public or says anything, it highlights his cognitive decline. And this speech just, I think it highlighted the fact that he is corrupt. He's trying to keep power any way he can. And also the speech highlighted how his mind is going to fail him. And it keeps failing him. And this is only his first 60 days. He's got 3 years and 10 months left, at least. This does not bode well for him over the next, even the next 6 months. I don't know how he keeps going.